Alright, y'all, back on the Africa Twin. Haven't been on it since last Sunday after our course, the adventure riding course that I took. So it took like 3 or 4 days at least to get my boots dry from our course last week. We got rained on for 2 days straight. Took me about the same amount of time to recover because my old man body. But no, it was a good course. It definitely gave me a little bit of familiarity with my bike, this bike. Today I'm going out into Wharton State Forest. See how it goes. There's a lot of sand, which I'm not looking forward to, but that's what I have here. My plan is to come out here and go through this trail once, just one way, and then come back around on the road to the house. But I haven't been out here since 2 years ago when I laid it down. So yeah, the 2-day course that I took last weekend was the 101 beginner to intermediate course. It's the Pine Barrens Adventure Camp Riding School. So you were supposed to have a little bit of experience with the clutch. You should, be familiar with the clutch, how to ride a motorcycle, that kind of thing. Of course, I've been riding a motorcycle for years, but on the road, and I've only had like 3 or 4, just a handful of rides on this thing, off-road, kind of off-road on these sandy roads through the state forest where cars can go, basically. So signed up for that. I found out about it Sunday night or Monday night. Signed up for it, and literally 3 or 4 days before the class started. And like I said before, all my gear's new. I'm using the same gear today. My Tech 7 Alpenstars boots, and then I have the MSR Voyager pants, and I have the MSR Explorer jacket. I just ordered the Explorer pants because I want to ride this winter. Even though these pants I know would be fine, I got a size smaller because I am planning to lose a little bit of weight. And the other ones are waterproof. These are supposedly kind of waterproof. They have a coating on them. I forget what they call it. But yeah, so I went ahead and ordered those. We were in rain all weekend though, like literally all damn weekend. So it poured on me the first day down there, and then it spit occasionally during the day the first day. The second day I didn't get rained on, very little on the way down there, and then it rained all day that day for the whole class. But I was sore as shit after the first day. My God, y'all, so out of shape. And of course I'm 300 pounds. I'm a little over, like 303 right now. I was 303 that second day. Probably the whole weekend I was about 303, 304. But it kicked my ass physically because I'm so out of shape, and I haven't been on this bike. I'm not used to this bike, and I'm not used to wearing this gear. But I was pounding fluids all day. Looks like there's an emergency vehicle behind me. Yeah, there is. There you go. Not sure what that was about, but okay. Hopefully there's no forest fires out here today. Hopefully. But no, we did a bunch of drills. So basically, he would do drills and then, demonstrate them, and then we would do them. A lot of slow speed stuff with cones in a field. And we did that all day. Then in the afternoon we did like a little trail ride. Some of it was sand, some of it was through the woods, almost like a little mountain bike trail. So it was a great course to familiarize yourself with your machine, your bike, and try to get the feel for standing up. We did a little bit of sand where we were dabbing. So that's the first time I've ever actually dabbed the way I guess you're supposed to, because we stood up constantly, and it just kind of happens. It's weird. If you've never done it, you're like, what the hell do you do? How do you do that shit? Your head is like overthinking shit. But it's like everything, if you haven't done it, it's kind of overwhelming, and you're not sure how it's going to feel and work, and you're kind of intimidated by it. But you get out there and you're in a safe, in a safe environment, and So yeah, so fortunately I made it out of there without any injuries. I only plopped my bike over twice, and I did it, you know, with the engine off, doing some little drills, balance drills the first day. And then the second day I did it when we were trying to mount like a horse with one foot on the left side and taking off with, and then mounting it from the left, which I haven't done before. And I was like, I'm never gonna do that. Like, but at one point I was like, all right, this drill is annoying me, it's frustrating me. So I didn't do that one. I never got that one done. So I may practice that when I get a little bit more familiar with my bike, but it just doesn't seem as simple for me as it is for a 150-pound dude. A lot of those guys are making it look pretty easy. Now, some of them didn't. So I'm gonna go in here and take a pee break. This is where I ride my mountain bike, so it would be fun to take this bike on the trails, but I don't think you're allowed to do that, y'all. So I'm gonna park and pee. Call it that. Alright, y'all. I stopped and took a piss. Still feel like an astronaut in this suit. It's getting better though. But what I'm going to try to do is ride at least once a week on the trails. Some trail, I don't know which, but somewhere, somehow. So when I get out here to the trail, I'm going to switch my camera, put my other cameras on, and again, my goal is to just go through it once today from this side to the other side, then I'll come back. It shouldn't take more than an hour, I think, to get through it. And while I feel a little more confident because I had that class last weekend, the last time I was out here, remember, I hurt my rib because I dropped my bike and I was sitting down on it. So today it's about to be a lot of standing up and probably dabbing in the sand. I'm curious how these tires feel too out here in the sand, because I felt them in the class. They feel good. I'm also going to have my settings set to what they recommended in the class. ABS off, traction control off, and then I'll just put it in Sport 1 like I did during the class and go from there. So hopefully we can keep her upright today. I'm hoping there's not a lot of traffic out here, because there are some blind corners, which I don't love. And I'm going to see what time it is when I get on the trail. Right now it's 1:09. It'll be about 1:15, I think. It is 1:10. Taking the right here. I want to see how my bike feels with the tank bag on it. I think I'll be good. I don't know, we'll see. Fucking brought it again. I don't know why, y'all. I brought it again. Speed limit 25. So I should slow down a tad. We're almost to the dirt. Y'all can see the dirt up here, right? Because I can see the dirt up here. I'm gonna stop right up here and take my ABS off. Just taking that shit off, y'all. Okay. ABS off, traction control off. And I'm on. I'm just gonna stand up. It's been a week since I've done this shit, yo. Try and not do the death grip. This is my little stopping point. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Because I know what's coming. Quite a bit of sand. Alright, y'all. So I got about a few hundred more yards to get up into the road. But I'm gonna say today was a success. Had a couple butt pucker moments for sure. One I saved, which I'm fucking glad I did. There's a Tenere. I'll turn ABS off until I get to the road. Traction control off. Hey, there goes another one. Got some adventure bike riders out here. I've gone 43 miles today, y'all. I'll take a peek out here before I head out. Sure no trucks plowing through here. Those guys were sitting down. Not sure if they know how much snow, how much sand is out there in front of them. I would suggest that they stand up, because my goodness, it's a sandy road, y'all. Curious if Jennifer got my messages. So I sent her one on my phone, then I sent her one from the Garmin device, my Tread 2, connected through my Messenger device. My guess is that's probably the only one they got through. Alright. Brake. Now we do ABS on. Traction control on. There we go. We'll leave it on Sport 1. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut my visor. So, I'm happy to report that I made it through the trail today safely. A couple of moments stressed me the fuck out. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, y'all, so yeah, today was my first day riding since last Sunday after the adventure riding school I took. I was a little nervous because this is the route where I laid her down 2 years ago, and then I basically stopped riding for a couple years. It took me about 6 weeks to heal from my rib injury. But today, aside from the couple of sections where it was really sandy, deep shit, I got in the left, came back to the right. I definitely think the throttle out thing saved my ass, and I'm glad I did it the way I did. The first section I rode, there was some sand in that. I took a break after that. Next section was very sandy. Yeah, I took a break after that. And then the last section was also pretty sandy in a couple spots, and I did okay. I managed to keep her upright. I didn't dab at all. So a couple things. My feet definitely are sore from standing on the pegs. I felt fine though. I noticed my tank bag was fine, and most of the time it felt better when I had my knees, my butt back, and my knees, you know, squeezing the tank a little bit. I mean, that gave me a little more confidence. I did try to keep the gearing in a lower gear. It kept trying to shift up. Not kept trying, but it did occasionally shift up. So I would let off on the throttle because I wanted to be able to give it a little bit of throttle when I needed it, and not have to worry about being in too high of a gear. I did pretty good with my keeping my right index finger on the front brake all the time. There were a couple times I caught myself squeezing the throttle, like just gripping it too hard, not whiskey throttling it. I like these boots because it literally just rests on the rear brake, and I used to have to think about that shit on in my other boots that I wore. I took a little more time putting my boots on to get them more comfortable, So I'll figure that out as I go. They're super stiff still. Everything's freaking very stiff. So I hope that the more I use them, my gear, the more comfortable and pliable they'll be. But yeah, the adventure riding school, I'm so glad I did it. It did give me a little more confidence, a little more familiar with my bike, what it's capable of. That route I did today, man, there are so many, like, there's a lot of sand, and it's fucking stressful. So when you go out there, you gotta be ready to fucking just embrace it. Like, you gotta be, okay, this is where I'm at, this is what we're doing. We are in sand. So yeah, and I never did dab. I mean, I kept it in a decent gear. I think I need to fucking pay attention to what gear that was, because then I could put it in manual mode and just leave it in that fucking gear. The problem is, once I get through some of that sand or pick up a little bit of speed, it shifts. I want to say it goes into third, but I don't know. I think that's probably right. I think second's the gear that I really like. Maybe I'll try a manual sometime. The Africa Twin treated me well today. I made it work a couple times. Got a little sketch a couple times. I was more consciously aware, and like kind of more strategic with what I did today when things happened to me on the trail. Like whether or not I was trying to keep my gear down, didn't shift up. You know, I would try to get it back in a lower gear. I didn't hit my manual paddle shifters at all, but I would ease up on the throttle, get it in a lower gear. And then there's a couple sections where I was like patient with getting back over on the right side, because I fucked up and got on the left side a couple times. But I'm not kidding, there's some deep fucking sand out there. But I will say my confidence going through sand is much better than it was. It's not great. Not great at all. Sand sucks ass. But it is better than it was. On these fucking knobby tires, y'all. And even on these knobby tires, and I was there down to 26 and a half and 28 and a half, and 26 and a half the front, 28 and a half on the back. It's still pretty slippery out there, y'all. But I do think the technique for riding in sand, I don't know, man. Like, I've probably ridden in sand more than a lot of people, and I've only done a handful of rides in sand. I immediately started doing it as soon as I got this fucking bike. I did a local ride near our house, like just a little fucking section. Stressed me the fuck out. Sand stresses you out. You just got to be alert. You got to be fucking on the controls. And today I found myself getting either too far to the right in the right groove, or maybe the left, and like literally looking way down the path of trail and just trying to aim for a spot in the distance, not looking anywhere near the bike, and just fucking gunning it and giving it some throttle and just holding on, man, like saying, okay, let's fucking get out of this shit. So I did that a couple times today, I think. I am curious to go back and look at the footage, and some of it was, you know, a couple times I just fucking accidentally got in the wrong side. But man, there's a couple times I went through the fucking deep shit in the middle, and just my Africa Twin came through for me, baby. Very happy with that. And I don't think I dabbed once today. I think I stayed up on the pegs. I tried to do throttle control smartly. I tried to use my brakes. So my goal now is to, like, at least once a week, get out on it, do some riding. I don't know if I'm gonna do that trail every fucking week, because my god, it's fucking stressful, man. I don't know if I need that stress in my life. Tell you that much. I tell you that. Well, yeah, we made it today. And I honestly don't think I dabbed at all. Even through that thick shit, I think I just had my balance working. My big ass balancing that shit. Throttle control, brake control, a little bit of body lean, a little bit of big fella body English. So I don't know, I did stop, you know, I stopped and took some air out. I don't know if that helped. I mean, I just did it fucking because I was like 31 and 30 or some shit, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'll let some air out because I knew it was going to get deeper sand. But I will say, I don't remember there being that many deep sandy sections. I don't remember there being that many. So they must go through there and put more sand down every year, because fuck me. I mean, there seemed like sections where it just never ended, where fucking deep, like fucking beachside sand was just fucking piled up. But I love being out there in the woods, in the dirt, very few cars, but I'm running that ride through my head, and with exception, I mean, except for a couple of different sandy areas, I'm okay with how I did. I'd give myself like a B+. Maybe that's a little optimistic and biased because it's me. But there are definitely some things I could do better. In the beginning, I was a little nervous that I had to get over that quick because I was in deep sand, fucking 400 yards in, if that. But also, there's a couple sections that I went through. Had there been a car coming or something like that, I would have definitely found myself in a compromising position, to say the least. Would have been like, okay, hopefully they're paying attention. Yeah, sand's a bitch, man. I saw a bunch of fucking adventure bikes out there too. Maybe not a bunch, but several. And I didn't see anybody standing up on them. And to me, that's like, okay, man. I wonder how they do. So yeah, all in all, great ride today. First ride back on it since my class. I was antsy to get out on it. I was looking forward to it. I was probably about 60-40 excited about riding in the sand, because I was like, okay, I think I got a little bit more of an idea of how I'm supposed to be doing this. I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time in the sand in class, but it helped my confidence, the stuff we did, and talking to the instructors about it and hearing what they had to say to me and other students. And I applied some of those fucking skills today, like throttling out and fucking standing on the pegs, because I definitely think those two things saved my hide a couple times. But I may start doing a manual mode with the gearing, because I found myself constantly easing up on the throttle even in some deep sand to get it to downshift, and I don't want to ease up on the throttle. I want to stay and maintain it. But after a while, when you maintain like a steady slow speed, it shifts up anyways in the third. I think, at least I think it was second, third, it kept doing it. And I just needed to be able to get it down to second and give it some beans if I needed it, you know. So yeah, for anybody thinking about taking an adventure bike riding course, I would highly recommend the Pine Barrens Adventure Camp Riding School, Southern New Jersey. Great instructors, great little place to ride out there or down there, because I'm a little bit north of them. And we did it in pretty wet conditions, which was actually, it added an element which I normally don't ride in, but I'm glad I did it. It gave you an idea of what it's like to do some off-road stuff in the rain. But I'm glad today went the way it did. Managed to keep her upright. Great ride. I feel good. I'm tired. I think it was smart for me to take breaks after every section of the trail. Just kind of regroup and think about it. You know, what I have coming up. Call it a success. Glad I got out and practiced some of my skills that I learned from last week. Because had I not done that at school, I would have gone through those sandy sections much slower than I did. And I didn't fly through them, but I definitely kept the momentum. I looked down the trail a couple moments, man. Like I said, it was sketchy, but it felt good. It felt good to do it, to do the thing. Getting out and doing that kind of shit, you know, I guess that's what it's all about. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So for now, holla later.